friends. So tell me if you hear me, because we had a problem with sound. So please tell me if you can hear me now, if still there is problem. Do you hear me or not? Because if you cannot hear me, it's very easy. Oh, you hear me, so it's okay. Oh my, I restarted my phone. I say maybe, sometimes we have to restart it. So maybe it's gonna, okay, so this is great. Thank you very much. So I was saying that since I came back, as you may know, I was not feeling really good because I put some weight on, and especially because I've not done any exercise at all for 4 months. So it has been really difficult. And when I came back, usually when I come back home, I take back, go back to my routine, and I can be really serious on going back to my exercise and my diet and everything, because these 4 months has been quite intense with friends and family and all that, and travel, a lot of traveling. So, and it's a lot of things. It's not only that. If you follow my life, you will know a little bit what is going on right now in my mind and the thing. And I did this video in French about the anxiety, that I had recently that I'm not used to, and I was surprised and how this helped me. In fact, it was what I needed to have a new idea, to have a new way to see things for the close future. So going back to the diet, I started to do exercise again. I cut my portion half like I do when I take, some weight. I just eat exactly the same thing, but I take half of what I'm eating usually. And usually it's good. I'm losing 1 kilo a week. In 2 or 3 weeks, it's good. I'm back on track. So I did this since April, I would say, time to come back and to settle back and all. And in fact, I've not lost anything. So I was wondering what is going on. So I looked at the planet. I know that now there is very strong aspect with Jupiter that is about expansion. That is my master planet as Sagittarius. And I had also, this kind of thing that I know that when you want to lose weight, fat mostly, because I don't want to lose really weight, you have to have muscles. And I lost all my muscles doing no exercise. In 2 weeks you lose the muscles. So I was really down. I say, okay, I have to get back my muscles. So I say, okay, I'm gonna exercise and do some, body lifting, because I use my body as body weight. And also I have some little weight. And also, maybe you follow that, I had this trouble at my right leg, but in fact is not something new, but I did not realize that event after event, I was not using properly my right leg, and it became very weak. And without muscles in my butt, this was becoming weaker and weaker. So I worked my butt. It's better. I'm amazed how the body is responding. And I worked also my legs. And also I am doing some weightlifting at home with what I have. And some exercise, and I was starting to feeling good. And I say, okay, about my diet, I know when you age, you have to have more protein than when you are younger. But me, I cannot eat more than what I'm eating. And even I cut the portion to lose a little bit of fat. And but I say, how am I going to do that? So I had the idea. Now he's calling me. I cannot be. Yes, baby, I'm coming. Oh no. You hear this specimen? What? What do you want? Huh? Again, you came twice today. Ah, now he will never hand. What? So I said, okay, how I can do that? How I can eat more protein? And I say, okay, I'm gonna check it out, and I check online, and I found something that you can do some kind of preparation with gelatin. I say, oh, I do bone broth. There is a little bit of that, but I never use gelatin. I never did anything with gelatin. So I found one organic, very purified, and last day I did a jello with watermelon. And I was excited about that, and it's beautiful, And the morning I had my breakfast. I had lentil soup. I had, soft boiled eggs that I have quite 2 or 3 times a week. And I had also a piece of cheese and some kefir with nuts. So I had a nice breakfast. I was not really hungry, and I had a breakfast for a time. One time it was quite early. I had breakfast around 9:30. That is not really my time. Usually it's around 11. And beginning of afternoon, I said, oh, I was not hungry, but I said, oh, I'm gonna try my jello. So I took my thing. I said, wow, it's really good. And I loved it. I was very happy, about this experimentation with gelatin. I said, oh, I found a way to have in 1 cup is 10 grams, so it's quite great, and I can do this, regularly. So I was quite happy about that, and I went back to work on my computer. And suddenly I said, oh, I would love an orange. And I say, okay, wow, I'm not someone who snack. I don't snack. So I was surprised. I said, okay. And I had an orange, and here in California, they're absolutely delicious. So I had my big orange, and I said, oh, I would love 2 pieces of chocolate that I make myself, and dark chocolate with 2 Brazilian nuts. And I went working again, and I said, oh, this is interesting. What can I do with gelatin next time? Maybe I can do what we do in France, the eggs in gelatin with herbs and things like that. And because I love more salty than sugary, so I said, oh, maybe something with salmon. And to eat on a salad with gelatin can be good. And I was, in this thing, doing my work on my pictures. And suddenly I stand up, I go to the bathroom, and I feel weird. I feel like I'm balanced. I say, oh, this is weird. And I say, maybe I should be away from this computer and go on the ground. It's not hot, it's cold here. These days, the morning, it's 7 Celsius, and during the day, it's 20, 22. So it's not really hot. It's rare for here at this season. So I say, okay, I'm going to lie down on the ground like I do, a little bit in the sun, and I will be okay. So I do that. I'm enjoying the sun. It's not hot. I am on the ground. I connect with the ground to ground myself. I feel relatively good. But something is like weird in my stomach. I don't have stomach pain at all, but I feel weird. And I come back, and there I feel really weird. And I say, what is going on? And I had to go to the post office. So I prepare myself. I am putting my shoes stand up like I do usual to keep my balance. It's an exercise that I do since ever to keep my balance. And I'm obliged to go on the wall, to be, pull myself on the wall. I cannot keep my balance. So, wow, this is really weird. And I say, maybe, I never had that, but I say, maybe I have low pressure, blood pressure. I say, why suddenly like that? I take my things, I go in my car, I drive up to the hill, to the mailbox. I get out to see the mail, and there I feel really bad. I say, my goodness, I cannot drive like that. I go back home. I will go tomorrow. I drive back home. I put everything there and I go straight to my bed. And there I feel like, ooh, everything, I see everything turning around me. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going on? And I'm thinking the gelatin. Maybe I have an allergy to gelatin. Maybe I have an intolerance to that. And I'm thinking about the gelatin and the orange and the chocolate and say, oh, maybe it's a kind of food poisoning. And I'm like, oh. So I say, okay, I stay lie down and it will pass, you know. I drank a glass of water when I came back from the car and all that, and I slept. And when I wake up, I was not feeling really good. Also, I took my homeopathic pills, and I went to bed and I slept. And then when I wake up, I was feeling like a little bit, weak. It was not dizzy, especially. It was weak. So I stand up to go to drink, I made a hot tea, like mint tea, because I wanted to drink something hot, and I have fresh mint, so I did that. And I went in front of my computer, and I look gelatin allergy or intolerance. And I went on gelatin intolerance on Google, and I found a lot of things. And I found that gelatin can increase the amount of histamine in the body. And the sign of too much histamine is what I was feeling through other things. It can be itchy skin that I don't have, but it can be dizziness. It can be this kind of thing about the stomach. But it was not, I didn't want desire to vomit or anything. I was not really feeling nauseous. So I checked on that and I discovered so much things that I was not at all imagining. So from gelatin and histamine, I went to check about histamine. And I found that the production of histamine increases often when we age, because we don't have the proper enzyme, the proper amount of enzyme to deal with that while aging. And I say, this is quite interesting, because since I came back, and mostly since the last months, my voice was telling me, your diet is not appropriate. Something is wrong with your diet. And me, I'm eating like usual and healthy, and I had this recurring in my mind. And I say, wow. So I remember that. I say, so I looked more online, and I discovered that I was checking what I'm eating usually about histamine and the element that I'm taking usually. And I discovered that most of the food I am eating is histamine enhancer. And I was like, I cannot believe it. You are naughty. I come back later. He's watching me. And I noticed that. So I passed to review everything. Sardines, eggs. So I learned a lot of things. So it's for that I want to share with you, because maybe this is going to help you. So one thing brought me to another. I say, okay, so this can be why, since sometimes I have some kind of dizziness sometimes. So it's maybe because I'm eating too much in one time of this food, that my body produces histamine and create this dizziness. But it's not something permanent. It's just, So I say, because I thought maybe it's because I'm aging and I lose balance. But no, because now that I see I start to do exercise again, my balance came back, because it was on my right leg, the unbalance. So no, I'm stronger on that. So I say, wow, this is really weird. So now it was making sense. I say, okay. So it's maybe this secretion of histamine that create all these troubles. And I check every food. And now I see that there are a lot of foods that I cannot eat. I'm like, I cannot believe it. Tomatoes and smoked salmon and some kind of lentils, for example. So the morning I had all the food that produce histamine, plus the gelatine, plus the chocolate and the nuts. The orange, they say the citrus are really bad to have with gelatin. So I had everything. So I said, this is quite interesting. So I learned a lot. I went from one thing to another, and I went to check about histamine and belly fat. And if you do this research, you will see. So histamine and belly fat, and it can be really one of the case of belly fat because the digestion don't work well, and we produce too much histamine, and we store things that usually we should evacuate. So it was quite really, really interesting, and I discovered so many things, and I went to see the food to don't produce histamine. So I decided to change my diet. I started yesterday. I feel good, actually. I have no more, sign. And I decided, so yesterday I was okay. Finish all the food that produce histamine. I'm going to be on the diet, no histaminic food, thing. And today I started the day and I say what I would love to have. So it's funny because it's something I don't eat a lot. I wanted to have oatmeal with some nuts, a little bit of lemon, and some blueberry. So I checked all the things, the ingredient. So what I do on Google, I put oatmeal and histamine. And I can see it's a non-producing histamine a lot. So after I put blueberry and histamine. So I do this like maple syrup and histamine. So I do this for every ingredient. And my breakfast was actually very light on product to induce histamine. And I feel really good. So after for lunch, I had green beans with potatoes. So potatoes are not making the body producing histamine. I was surprised to learn about that. So I made that with green beans and with olive oil, and I tried to be, following the guidelines about anti-histaminic food. And but I decided that I will not be draconian. I don't know if we say this word in English. I decided that I will be flexible with that. That I took my black coffee today. But I decided that recently I really increase the amount of food that can induce histamine reaction. So my little voice was right. Your food is not adapted. Your food is not right now. Something is not right in your food. And I was like, yes. And finally, you see, so the accumulation of this, I could say, snack with the jelly, watermelon, and half an hour, 1 hour later, an orange, and the chocolate and nuts, I think my higher self pushed me to do this, for me to have this experience and to really see the effect of that. So now I can speak about that because I'm mostly sure that it's that. I don't have a blood analyze about that or anything, but it makes sense because especially with the gelatin, that was the first never used ingredient that I put in my diet. So, it's quite very, very interesting process. So I wanted to share this with you, and especially aging make us more prone to be histamine reacting, you know. So I think this can be useful for a lot of people to know this, and even for people who are not really aging. But it was a good, I was like, oh, this makes sense, you know, it makes really sense. So this is what I wanted to share with you. Let's see what is going on. See if you have some question yet. No. Thank you, Chile. Thank you. Hey, good. Hello, hello from Chile. And let's see. I have no question. I have someone who told me something. I want to move on, but I cry. Oh, what is going on there? Any advice on how to heal from a broken heart? Oh my, he devaluated me, flirted with other women. I left, but there is so much pain in my heart. Oh, this is already good that you left. You cannot accept something like that. So this is quite good. It's heartbroken for sure, but you have your dignity. So I think it's the most important is to be in alignment with your essence, with what is right for you. And it's painful, and this is part of our, unfortunately, human experiences. What you can do, because it's you asking, I want to move on, but I cry every day. Cry. Feel the pain, because at the moment it will be dry. I experiment that many times, you know. So one thing you can do is to be honest, and see what attracted you in this person. What attracted you beyond the physical, beyond what was his specificity, something that really make you vibrate. And see how this thing that was emanating from this person, how you were expressing that yourself. Because maybe you were not, and maybe you met this person by phenomenon of resonance to express that yourself. I noticed this, as you know, I'm 70 now, so I had some quite interesting love relationship experiences. I noticed when I was falling in love and I was in heart pain and heartbroken, and I was crying, I was being with my pain. My dignity was the most important, so I left. This is something that is really important, and it's the first step to recovery, because you are in integrity with your higher self, despite the pain. And the pain is there for you to investigate deeper, because the pain from somewhere very deep, it's our soul and our heart that is hurt, you know. And when the heart is hurt, it's broken, and often it's to have more love, but more love for ourselves. So now, seeing what you were admiring in this person, but you have to be honest, and return this to yourself, and see how you were not manifesting that. Maybe a quality, maybe a job, maybe a specificity in his way to behave, or maybe apart the betrayal, I'm saying something else. Maybe if he's successful in his work, maybe what kind of job he's doing, maybe what kind of activity he's doing that you are not doing, or maybe it can be an indication. Me, I had a relationship with a photographer very young, and until, and I thought I was in love, and until he had absolutely no clue about me, and until I realized I was not model at that time. I have to precise that. I was not model at all. It came later. And until I realized, and it has been so clear, I say, oh my goodness, until he totally rejected me. And I realized that, yes, it's because I have to be the photographer. I was doing photography already since I was a kid, but I was not doing it professionally. And he always told me, you have such a good eye, you have to work. And he took me as assistant, and I worked with him as assistant. And he also encouraged me to develop this, and he wanted me to be the manager of the office in Paris, and he trusted me and he made me a beautiful business card, and he really loved my photography, and he always told me, when you do photography on set, your pictures are really better than mine, at the feeling we have seeing them. Because I had not, because he encouraged me to do photography beside him, to the models, but I was a woman, and I don't have the same relationship and projection on this model I was photographing than him. I don't have the same game. Actually, I had no game with them. I was just admiring their beauty, and they were giving me something that was resonating with something in me, and they were feeling confident and really beautiful, not playing the game of seduction, unconscious game of seduction with a man. So it was quite very interesting, and I had to go to this pain, and to this really, I cried so much. My daughter was telling me, I'm gonna bring you a bucket. You cried so much, and in fact, one day it has been clear, because inside I asked why it was like that. Why? And one day, it was a day of May, the month of May bring me a lot of insight. I noticed this during my life. And I was like, wow, it's that. And this changed totally. I was not in love with him anymore. I understood the thing. I say, wow, it's this that life was showing me. It's me who has to become the photographer. And he gave me the indication by wanting me to be at his side, by wanting me to do pictures, by wanting me to be the manager of the Paris office. I was not still understanding. And I started to work as photographer, like by magic, I did a show in a restaurant, and people have been really loving the show, and putting comment on the guest book that they never saw me, but they described me, and I was, wow. And this was in the 90s, it was no internet. And it was digital. It was not digital, it was argentic pictures, analog pictures and analog photography. And in this restaurant, a customer came, and she was responsible of a department in Helena Rubinstein cosmetic, and she hired me to do pictures, and I did pictures for many years, product, but she wanted something more, a commercial product, something more poetic, and I did. And after I did pictures for other companies as photographer, and voila. So I always did photography for me. Always, I was doing portrait for people that I was offering, for free to people, and to be my model. And they had the pictures, and I did this for many years. And I continued to do it when I was in New York, even modeling a lot, and in Malibu, and a lot of people had my pictures for free. And this was grace at this relationship. So to go back to you, maybe you can discover something in this relationship that can also give you another option, and found the peace. So maybe try to investigate this, You see, you brought me to an old story of the past. But the funny thing is that I totally detached myself from this person, from this man. We became really, really good friends. And so try to... Oh, you are here again. Maybe it was his personality qualities and how well he treated me in the beginning. He's a surgical dentist, and I'm not interested in that. I'm a creative person. Yeah. So, who knows? So you are a creative person, so you may have been interested in that. And maybe you admire his social position as well. But it's very difficult. It's personal for everybody. I remember when I heard his voice, something clicked for me. So maybe it's, oh yeah, this is possible. I had another story like that. I have another story by the voice of someone I hear that I never met. And wow, and it was exactly. In fact, it has been a story on 10 years because we finally been in touch and nothing never happened in between us. It was like, wow, when I heard his voice, I knew him. I could even feel his skin. And it was, we could say karmic, but no, because for me, I see this differently. I had the feeling we knew us, and it was very strong. I had very vivid dream, like real, always positive. And it will be a long story to tell for 10 years of relationship, because it was somewhere in the invisible. And I was so intrigued by that. At that time, I knew someone who was reading. I don't speak about past lives, not at all, because for me, I am multidimensional. And it was resonating like I was having right now an experience, a relationship with this human being in another dimension, right in the same time, multidimensional, in another timeline. And like by chance, I had the idea to contact that person. I say, but I contact the person for a business job, for a business issue. I say, I have this issue with this partner. Can you tell me what is going on there? And so we work on that. And I said, by the way, I have this funny kind of relationship at distance with someone I never met. And can you tell me about that? And she said, oh, there is a strong, romantic and relationship in another dimension right now. I said, yeah, I knew it. And it lasts 10 years. We were in touch sometimes, and we never met. Oh, no, we met once. And it was really, really weird. And since many years, it's done. But I had this experience, and when it was really weird, because sometimes when he contacted me, it was really like I had one. It was like a gas field. It was like his voice, the vibration was wow. And it was bringing me in another state. So maybe it's something like that. Don't say a karmic, because for karma is a thing about retribution and all that. It's more maybe, and cause and effects of things. And as we are multidimensional, It can resonate with something from another dimension, that there is a relationship and another, and the fact he did this with you, that is seducing other woman. First, if he's doing that, it may be someone that is not very secure, and he needs to do that to feel, important. This is possible. I don't, maybe not, but maybe it's that. And he's not even aware of it. And you resonate to the voice because on another timeline you live another experience that is also strong. And maybe you met just for you to be stronger on what is important for you, and to have a strong will of what you want and don't want in a relationship. And this is going to make you stronger and independent, is what happened to me with all this relationship that has been like very intense. Not a lot, but some really intense. So try to maybe, be in a dreamy state. I don't want to say meditation, but in silence, and connect this and see little details that can maybe, see you other things that you are not maybe aware of, things like that. Can be, and you will see with time, eventually, tell me if you discover something, and you will become stronger. Because next relationship, you will not 1 second permit, because in a relationship we are 50-50. It's a kind of game in the invisible that is at work, because our souls before coming decided we were going to have this kind of experience or this for our evolution. So it's a kind of maybe some contract you had, and you played, if I can say, a certain game for a while, and is acting like this for you to experiment something else, and to also make you stronger, to make you more with integrity to yourself. Because the most important thing in any relationship is to have integrity to yourself first. Because when you have integrity to yourself, you resonate after with people who have integrity as well. So you will not attract again the same kind of person, because you installed inside of that this integrity. You see, it's very simple process, but it's very important. And when you understand this phenomenon of projection, if we can say, and you meet someone new, and you be clear with yourself what is attracting me in this person, what I admire, what maybe this person is mirroring me that I cannot see of myself, what, and this make you being observator, not jumping in the relationship. This doesn't mean to don't have relationship, but to take some distance, to observe, to appreciate the feeling you have, your heart, beating and all. It's really nice to be in love. And until one point, you will see, and this is the beauty of aging, you will see at one point you can feel in love, this feeling of being in love without having a partner. And this is something fantastic, something I would never imagine possible. I'm in love with a bird. I'm coming, baby. He's here, my goodness. Yes, I know what you want. He came again. So you see, and this is an amazing feeling, because it's like some days I'm like, oh, this feeling of being in love is there, and I'm single, I have no one in my life, you know. Sure, I have baby monster, but it's being in love with life. And this is absolutely a fantastic feeling of peace. You feel with a healthy power inside of you. And I must say that you cannot be anymore in a relationship that's going to destroy you, because this is so precious that you don't want to lose it. So it is how you feel the flow in the relationship is great. Okay. If it's not, you feel something is like, take some distance, review a little bit the thing, review your criteria, and you know, your markers for what is right for you or not, and see, you know. Because it's a game that we play in relationship often when we are not aware. There is one that pulls the strings and the other one that reacts until we say stop, you know. And it goes both ways. And when we say stop, because I experimented this in Analyze with my second husband, when we say we go and analyze, I've been in Analyze, and you say stop, suddenly the other say, oh, something changed in you. Because you change in yourself. I changed my way to behave, and I put light on why I was behaving like that. And I did the analyze. I discovered something I was far away to imagine about myself. And so I was not playing the game anymore, because it was clear why I was behaving like that. So I came, and he felt immediately the shift in energy. And the game was not possible anymore. So you see, so after I went on another kind of game. So it's interesting. And it's fascinating. And aging is really what brings you all these experiences and make you, you know, more and more on your inner power. And this, after, you don't want to lose it. You don't want to lose it because it's too precious, you know. So, voila. So maybe this can give you some options. Some suggestion can come from that. I'm gonna feed my bird. Oh, you're so cute. You are so cute. Oh, yes, you know you are cute. Huh? He's freezing because it's windy on the patio. And he's in the shade. It's cold, huh, my baby? Oh, this morning he was sunbathing. So I put him a plate with his treat in the sun like this. He could sunbathing and eat. Oh, you are adorable. You know this? You know? Oh, I'm coming. Okay, so I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna feed my little baby monster. Thank you for listening, and I'm gonna put this on YouTube for the one who want to have translations, because only you can put the translation. And at soon, next time.